Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 146. Before we start off, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe and tell your friends. So, I've been asked in the past because I play bass, who are my top 5 bass players. Well, you know what? Time for my top 5 guitar players. Now, and I'm going to put actually two honorable mentions, and you'll see why. So, I'm how to explain this here. I'm not. These are my favorite guitar players. Maybe not the flashiest. Some I like more for their power chords or their compositions as opposed to their soloing. Like, you know what I mean? There, it's not just about flash or talent for me. There's a lot, and I'm very picky for guitar players there. Maybe in the 80s, it was all about flash and shredders and all that. I'm so past that. It's anyway. You'll see my top 5 guitar players here. So before we start off, cheers to you guys. Thank you again for watching. If I haven't said so already, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe, and tell your friends. So I'm going to go with my top 5, and then I'll talk about my honorable mentions here. So, number 5, I'm going to go with Blue Oyster Cult's Buck Dharma, whose real name, Donald Roser. Now, this guy, like I said, the picture that I'm posting here, this screamed not cool at all. You know, this is how they look like, or he looked like. But you know what? I actually fell in love with his guitar playing like a few summers ago. And he's got talent, he's got great writing chops, doesn't overplay, and he just plays what needs to be played. I find he's very talented. Not I don't like him more for his soloing and guitar writing habits, I guess, if that's the word there. But yeah, I find his guitar licks very tasty, not tasteless, but very tasty. Yeah, he's got it's original, it's memorable. If it's not memorable, it's because it's freaking complicated as shit. There, listen to the earlier Blue Oyster Cult there. But yeah, I friggin' fell in love with this band 2 summers ago, and have not looked back since. So number 5, I'm putting Buck Dharma. Number 4, you guys all know I like Kiss. How could I not put Ace Frehley here in my top 5? He's like your sloppy lead guitarist. And I could probably hum you all his guitar solos from the early records there. They're that memorable. If you ask somebody who doesn't like Kiss, they are probably going to tell you that Ace Frehley is the only good thing that came out of Kiss. I mean, don't go listen to his voice. I don't think it's that great there, but his songs are very guitar-driven songs. Anybody who plays guitar says, "Oh, I love playing Ace Frehley songs because it's the song, the riffs sing a different song than the anyway. It's hard to explain there, but his solos, man, is just very recognizable and very sloppy. But you know what? Love the guy here. I've loved him for many years. So there's your number 4 for me. Not my favorite Kiss member, but as lead guitarists go, or just guitar players, yeah, I'm definitely putting him up there. So number 4, Ace Frehley. Number 3, definitely not for soloing. I'm sure he's good soloist here, but I will say Tony Iommi, number 3, has got to be the best riffmeister out there. The best riffs, the crunchy riffs, heavy riffs. He's the one that's responsible for creating them. How many memorable riffs has this guy created? Solo wise, I'm like, they're good. They're like they're not memorable, but his riffs, verse riffs and chorus riffs are what are memorable here. Listen to your Paranoid, Zero the Hero. I'm trying to name a few there. Uh, that's anyway, whatever. It's he's and of course I'm putting out there not just the 70s, 80s, but also putting 80s, and I'm talking about Tony Martin era. Like, listen to the riff on The Shining. My God, that could have been like a riff written in the 70s. That just is. I just love his riffs. That's like I said. That's not. Yeah, that's how you would say that there. I love Tony Iommi's riffs. So to me, that would be number 3. Number 2, I've known this guy all my life, but I didn't realize how good he was and how tasteful his soloing is. So I'm talking about Canada's Triumph, Rik Emmett. It's When I Heard a Midsummer Night's Dream live. I've never seen. If ever you want to see, just go to YouTube, and well, you're already on YouTube watching this here. After you've watched this, go check out Triumph, A Midsummer Night's Dream live. I've never seen someone go dun, 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 like it's. I've never seen someone. It's not this hand. This hand. It's usually it's like a pick. This one he's using all his 5 fingers, and I don't understand. Like I'm watching this, I'm like I'm trying to comprehend what the hell did I just watch here, but he's got some great riffs, great power chords, great soloing too, and the way that you can hear the it's like a song Never Surrender. Listen to the what he's playing on the guitar, and he's friggin' singing at the same time. Like that is talent and a half right there. So him, sorry. Yeah, him I would say I like his soloing and his riffs and his compositions. The guy is just like amazing to listen to, and even watching on YouTube. Like check it out there. But it's again only in the last couple of years I've just appreciated even more his talent. I still remember this is back in the early 2000s. I was with a guy at work. I said, "Look at Midsummer Night's Dream there," and he's like, "Wow, this guy's really a virtuoso." And I didn't realize it until he told me it that way because he was a guitar player. And but anyway, not just that. Like I said, like plenty of great, memorable riffs that he's composed also. So number 2, I'm putting Rik Emmett. Number 1, not really a surprise, probably the most influential guitar players of his era. I'm going to put Van Halen's Eddie Van Halen. What can I say about Eddie Van Halen that's not been said? Great songwriter, great soloist, great. He did it all. Riffs, talent. He mixed talent, riff, melody. You just watch him play live too. Actually, you know what? I've seen Eddie Van Halen live. I've seen Tony Iommi live, Ace Frehley. Out of my top 5 so far, the rest has just been YouTube videos. But yeah, like I don't even know what else to say there for Eddie Van Halen there. But he invented, well, let's see, invented but popularized finger tapping, which wasn't that common. Most people were like, what the hell is that, you know? But sadly, he passed away. I think he's the only one on my list that has. Yeah, I'm looking at my list. He's the only one that's passed away there. And yeah, when he did pass away, that actually was one of the 3 rock stars that it did affect me when I was like, literally bummed that day. The other ones being Dio and Neil Peart. I was like, well, this day is ruined. So yeah, I'm putting Eddie Van Halen as my favorite guitar player. I don't find some people would say he overdoes it. No, I don't find he overdoes it. If he does overdo it, it's not for long. It's like he knows when to, okay, let's, enough there. So number 1, Eddie Van Halen. Now, I'm going to be mentioning some honorable mentions here. Number 1, I'll put, and I would stay tuned for the last one because I got a little rant to say here. So I got 2 honorable mentions. The first one would be John Sykes. What has this guy not done here? He's done Thin Lizzy, Tigers of Pantang, Whitesnake, Blue Murder, solo stuff. I've actually gotten to see John Sykes live for a Thin Lizzy reunion. It was they were opening up for Deep Purple, I believe, in the Bananas era, but his riffs are friggin' phenomenal. Like, he's got a great sound, great riffs. You look at what he's done with Thin Lizzy, Tigers of Pantang, and Whitesnake. All those, the albums that he was on are considered the best of that band. And Blue Murder is like, what can I say about that band? I friggin' love that band. I've said it many times. I didn't like them as a teenager, but as an adult, I can friggin' appreciate what Blue Murder has given the world of music here. I didn't realize I didn't do this today yet. There we go. So, honorable mention number 1, John Sykes. Honorable mention number 2. Some people might laugh and say, this guy sucks or whatever. I'm going to put Mick Mars. This guy has gone such a bad rap of the last 10, 20 years. I've seen Motley Crue live many times. And I'm going to say this. I used to laugh at Mick Mars. I was like, oh, whatever. And my friend Steph said, no, just listen to his riffs. But most importantly, he told me he puts the glue in Motley Crue. Steph, I don't know if you remember telling me that, but that actually friggin' stuck by me. And that's when I realized, I'm like, you know what? That riff for Looks That Kill is friggin' amazing. Girls, 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 Dr. Feelgood, Shout at the Devil. I considered him the Tony Iommi of the 80s or the hair metal. And that guy's been getting such a bad rap of late regarding that bullshit with Motley Crue and the rest of Motley Crue and him. I saw him live and I'm like, kudos, hats off to Mick Mars for playing live in his condition. I've seen him, he had to be carried. He was walking like this and yet 2 guards holding him up just so he doesn't fall. We all know what his issue with his body is there. But you know what? Hats off to that guy for, in the condition that he's in, playing those amazing riffs. Solos, they're good. They're sloppy. But he had some friggin' good riffs. And Team Mick on the bullshit that's been happening. If you ask me, he was never the problem in Motley Crue. And I'm leaving it at that. So anyway, on that note, those are my picks for favorite guitarists and my 2 honorable mentions. So from, again, Buck Dharma, Ace Frehley, Tony Iommi, Rick Emmett, and Eddie Van Halen. And honorable mentions, I'm putting John Sykes and Mick Mars. So on that note, have yourselves a great whatever, and we shall see you guys next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.